Oh, hello,
Oh, hello.
and welcome back to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie, and we're super happy to have you here with us today. We are excited to chat with you all about what Alex and I are currently reading and what's up next. We thought it'd be kind of fun to assign something to each other this time instead of just reading at a whim. So, very excited to kind of see how that goes.
All right. Well, Annie, what are you currently reading?
So, I have a couple of things that I'm reading, only like 70 billion things at once. But the two that like really stick out to me that I'm trying to like catch up with are start out with I Am the Villain on Webtoon. It is a new series, so it's one that you could actually catch up with pretty fast. Right now it's at episode 10, and it's something that started out on Canvas, which I didn't realize like I'd already read some of it before it became like a Webtoons original.
Was it the same or is it prequel to what you're reading?
It is the same, but the art is better. It's almost like new and improved. Like the
Okay.
quality is just improved, and like the story is just like built better. It's almost like Canvas gives them the sounding board to make the original like what it is today. And it's so great. But it opens up and the main character, it's of course an isekai, which is one of my favorites. She's transported into a novel that she only read the Spark Notes for, but in the Spark Notes realizes that she's the villain. So she's like very dazed. She's completely depressed, spends like her first 2 weeks in this new world just like saying she's sick and never leaving her room in like a complete panic. Very like true to what I feel like I would be like if I just randomly appeared in another world. But so her name is Lucia Aurelius. She ends up like trying to think of a way that she won't die. And like anybody in one of these modern day isekai trope stories, she's like, okay, I need to change everything. She's supposed to be engaged to this crown prince who like hates her. And so she breaks off the engagement. And ultimately she's just going through and trying to change everything, gets herself into some trouble and just like meets this complete random stranger like in the marketplace, and then is like, what do you want to do? I'm following you around like a lost puppy. And this guy is like, you have no idea who I am. You almost just got kidnapped by these random people in the town square, and the only reason they didn't kidnap you is because I'm here. And she's like, then maybe you should be my knight. And so she just like adopts this random stranger man as like her knight. Because she's like, oh, you're a random person that didn't exist in the story, so you're safe.
Does she know he didn't exist, or does she just think he didn't exist because she only read the Spark Notes?
Exactly. I mean, we don't know, essentially. All we know is the information that she has, which is very limited. As she goes to break off her engagement with this crown prince, she runs into his brother. And he's like such a minor character that she like can't even figure out who he is based on what he looks like. So she keeps calling him sir. And he's like, do you not remember my name? And she's like, shit.
And we've all been there. We know what it's like to not remember somebody's name.
I know. Like, I've definitely been there. But so she's just sitting there, like, you can see her internal dialogue in the background, just like, shit. Like, I don't know what to say. And she just keeps calling him sir. And he's like, obviously you wouldn't forget your future brother-in-law's name. And she's like, oh, I think I remember his name. He's like barely talked about in the story from like what I read. But he's known as like the Crimson Lion, as like this hardened war hero or whatever. And his name's Leonardo. And by the way, Leonardo's pretty attractive too. So, love myself a redheaded man. So if you're ever wanting one of those, he seems like an actual good redheaded character, even though they usually make those males, I feel like, evil.
That's interesting. As a preview, my story also features a good redheaded man.
See, this is what I need in my life, Alex. But honestly, I'm so excited. Like, I had only read like a few episodes here and there. It wasn't something that I kept up with while it was on Canvas. So I'm excited to see it getting like a full original story, because I just like, it's going to have a sequenced release. It's something I get to look forward to and it gets to build up. But the story is so fun and like she's a very relatable character. It almost just feels like a more real isekai. Like all these people adjust to their lives in these isekais so well. But she's like, this is actual turmoil. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know this world. Barely know these people. Like they've known me their whole life, quote unquote. But she has like a terrible relationship with her brothers in the story. And she's like trying to be nice to the brothers. And since she skimmed over everything, she doesn't even know why they have problems really with each other. So she's just like, do you want to eat dinner together? And the brother's like, it's almost like looking at you made me not hungry, and storms away. And she's just like, well, I don't know what to do about that. Like just completely clueless. And so I love that she's just actually trying to build her life from scratch and doesn't really know anything that's happening around her. It's almost like how I go through life in general, even though I'm in my own life right now.
It sounds really good.
Yeah.
And I have a question for you because you read a lot of isekai.
Yes.
We both do. How do you think you would handle being isekai'd into a story?
I think it depends on what kind of story I'm being isekai'd into. If it's this one specifically, I would be like way more outwardly panicked. I don't think I'd be able to keep my composure and just be like, I'm sick, and stay in my bedroom for 2 weeks. I would sit there and be like, oh my God, what happened in this story? I didn't read the story. And then I'd probably just be like in the corner in the fetal position. Like, I don't think I'd know what to do. Like, she spent like the 2 weeks wallowing. That seems accurate. Like, that seems like something I would do.
Yeah. I feel like both of us, we read so many stories either at the same time or back to back to back to back to back.
Yes.
That it would be really hard to keep straight what is happening in one story or what happened over, like you might confuse the stories and be like calling people the wrong names. I think that it would be hard.
I just like look at the main character. I'm in like, I don't know, like a Finding Camellia. I would never forget those characters' names, but like I definitely have to look them up. They all kind of blend together sometimes.
Definitely do.
Like once you start reading it again, like you pick up the weekly release, it all floods back to you. But like I'm terrible with names in real life. That's like the real kicker. Like with that moment where the second prince comes up to her and he's like, do you not remember your future brother-in-law's name? And she's like, oh my God. Like I have done that. Not to my future brother-in-law, but I have done that. And still to this day, we'll probably continue doing that on accident because names are hard and there are so many names. All of the names. What do you think you would do if you were in an isekai?
I don't know. I think I hope that I would just kind of go off the rails and do my own thing and probably not even try and be a part of the story. I would just like try and adventure in the world and
you
go
just
see
abandon
things.
the engagement in general.
Yeah, I would just leave. Maybe flee the country, go somewhere else, find my own story, and live my own life.
You know what that kind of sounds like? I mean, it's not a story that's an isekai, but that does kind of sound like Dragon Daily.
Oh, it does sound like Dragon Daily.
Such a sweet story too.
Such a good one. I love that one, but that is not what I'm currently reading.
So what are you currently reading, Alex?
I am currently reading The Dark Knight Journal, which is really good. It features a red-haired main lead.
Love that.
Named Dr. Lance Stewart.
That's fun.
And also the other main character is called Colette London. And just to set up the world a little bit, this one is a romance drama, kind of murder mystery. Ooh. It's very interesting. I love it. It's the only thing I'm reading right now because it's so good. So to set up the world, there are guides and sentinels. And guides are really strong spiritual people, and sentinels are like really powerful and strength. And they have like a connected bond, so you basically find your pair, and that's like your soulmate, your life's partner.
How do you find them? Is it just like
You just know.
Oh,
like,
okay.
mostly the Sentinels are like, this guide is mine. I claim
seek
this
them out.
guide. Because there are 2 times as many Sentinels as there are guides. So it's not, it's not great odds that you're gonna find your bonded
that's kinda
person.
sad.
And so, and the rest of it too is that Sentinels will go crazy if they don't have a guide because they have such heightened senses, and the guides calm that down.
Okay.
So, Colette London, he tells the story later on where he says that when he first awakened as a Sentinel, he thought he was going crazy because he could hear flowers bloom, he could hear the wind going by like at an insane volume, and so everything was just driving him crazy.
Yeah.
The sights, the sounds, the smells were all just intensified to like the billionth degree. And then he got around a guide and it calmed down. So that was the moment that he said that he like knew that that was his guide. But then he doesn't have a guide right now. He's kind of a free agent. Lance Stewart, the doctor, has called to him. But Lance Stewart is an ordinary person. He took the placement test at their academy and was not a guide or a Sentinel. And his parents were, one was a guide and one was a Sentinel. So he was kind of surprised that he was just an average person. So he becomes a doctor, and that was, he was in school then, and now he's an adult. And they pull him in to these string of murders that are happening because they think, okay, a doctor will have medical knowledge, will be able to see what the injuries are, and maybe help us get some clues. And so basically the story is right now that Colette and Lance, along with the police, are just like trying to solve these murders.
Okay.
And it's so interesting. Colette is very obviously like, Lance, you are my guide. And Lance is like, I'm not a guide. I don't know what you're talking about. Please leave me alone. So funny. I love the characters' interactions together. They're just so cute. And they have the cutest chibis. I showed you the chibis.
Yes.
They're so cute. Colette has the funniest chibi faces. So yeah, that's what I'm currently reading. I love it. It's so good.
How far into it are you? Do you have a lot left to read?
I am... Let's see. I think I am on... It's not showing me.
That's okay.
I think I'm on about episode 40, and there's
Okay.
like 65.
Okay, so you're more than
have
half.
I'm more than halfway. There's still a decent amount to catch up, though. And it has just gotten to a part where it has started taking some serious twists and turns that I was not expecting.
That's always exciting.
Yes.
I love it when it takes a turn.
Yes.
So fun. Honestly, I love the thought of one of the characters being completely clueless at it seems like it would be one of the characters being clueless at their own powers, really.
Yeah. Well, but he took the test, and the test told him he doesn't have these powers. So then you have to think, did something happen? Why was he given a faulty test? Maybe he hadn't awakened yet. He's awakened later on.
Yeah.
Who knows? But Colette is just so sure of himself. He's like, you are a guide. You're not just a guide. You are my guide.
He's being told he's a guide. He doesn't have a choice at this point.
Yes. He even goes to the academy, back to the academy, and says, you have to test him again. And they haven't gotten there yet because they're still trying to solve all these murders. But it's in the murders themselves, like that could be its own novel because the murders are happening and the murderer is dressing the victims up as dolls.
Oh, creepy.
It's so creepy. It's interesting. It's so interesting on so many levels.
So interesting. You know what? There's also on Manta, Corpses Never Lie. I think we've talked about this one. But the main character, she works for this band. They're kind of like misfits, like FBI misfits almost. But they do investigations on crimes that take place with nobles involved. So a lot more so when it's like a high profile case, etc. And they're like in charge of doing the investigations and like, you know, finding the evidence and supporting their arguments in court, etc. But they go into so much detail of like, once they solve the crimes, they end up telling you how the crimes happened.
Oh, I love that.
And like how, like what built up to this point, like what was the breaking point for the criminal, etc. I love it. And there are like it's like little mini asides almost. Like the story builds behind it and you can see the life of like these detectives essentially. But you also get to see like in depth where their investigations are at, and like you get like these mini aside stories.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like Criminal Minds.
I know. It's so good.
Which I also love. So I'm definitely going to add that to my list.
Yeah.
It's probably already on the list.
It's definitely on the list, but there are also like how many more? Like 200
We
other
did
stories?
go and add another probably 50 at least, I would say, to the list recently.
Yeah, I don't know how we expect this to be realistic, but we'll catch up. I know us.
Eventually.
We'll eventually have to sit down and add more, so who knows?
The great thing is that they just keep making them.
I know, and they're all so good. I love it. I love when you find the similarities, and I love that Dark Knight Journal is going so well for you. I feel like it's at a good point for you.
It's definitely a good point. Yeah. Now, I know that you are not just reading your webtoon, I Was the Villain, or I Am the Villain story.
No, sadly, 10 episodes have been going by really fast. So
what else are you reading?
So other than that, like in my free time, I am trying so hard to catch up with NPCs Can Save the World Too. It's one you recommended me.
It is.
Yes. It's so phenomenal. I do love it. It's not like my typical story. It definitely ties in a lot of like the video game aspects. It is an isekai, so I guess in that sense, like I'm familiar at least with like the setting. But it's like I would definitely classify it as like boy love video game-esque isekai.
Yeah, it's definitely got the video game part going for it because he does get
quest screens.
Yeah, he gets the quest screens. He goes to find the bosses.
It basically was a video game.
Yeah.
That he's familiar with. And so it's such a well-written story. It's so good. And the growth of it, like there was such a good setup for you to understand the background of like in this new world, he's a mage and he's trying to figure all these things out for himself. And then that's just the beginning. Like now he's going on adventures. I'm only on episode 56, and I think there's like 95 episodes or so. Mm-hmm. So I'm about at the halfway point. But essentially, I love how he like had all these different goals for himself. And then ultimately, he's just like meeting all of these bosses along the way. And like everybody is just like fawning over him and in love with him. It's just crazy because it seems like it's kind of set in like a dark world. Like there's a lot of just bad happening in general. And so it's almost like just because he's able to show like this bit of kindness towards them, like it like changes their entire like course of history, like how this is going to move forward, etc. Like the course of the future is changed just because of his like small moments of kindness. So now he has Vigil the Beastkin, who's obsessed with him, wants to be his partner, and whatever that means. Just like, I want to be with you. And the way that their relationship grows, so cute. And then you have the Dryad, so he's like a tree person. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've never heard of like a Dryad in another story, so it was very cool. But they have Ixia, who apparently like they've referenced a few times at this point, is a character who's supposed to become like almost one of like the undefeatable bosses.
Most of them are pretty difficult bosses that he interacts with.
Yeah. It's like wild because you see him and he's like just this little like shy boy who's being bullied essentially by these other like guild team members. Like they're just using him. They don't give him a cut of the money when they do all these different quests, etc. Mm-hmm. And so he's shown just like the littlest bit of kindness of like splitting the reward money and like, hey, we care about you. You're joining us on this next quest, etc. Like not just throwing him to the side when it's convenient. And so as of right now where I'm at, there's this new, like you definitely know he's suspicious. Lucian ends up running into Raffaele while he's working at the restaurant, and he's definitely a vampire. And like part of the Black Wings. But it's almost like Raffaele knows something weird about Lucian too. And so I think we're going to get a lot more backstory about just him as a character, because even Lucian is trying to discover himself. Like, he's new to this world. He doesn't know exactly, like, what's expected of him here. Like, who he is exactly, what's different, what's changed. Like, obviously, he's a mage, but, like, he runs into some people, and he's not allowed to use his magic, and he's like, I guess I'll just beat them up with my hands. Like, I'll do that, because I know how to do that. I've had to, like, keep composure for the most part. But so, it's just interesting. Like, they're both isekais, both of the ones that I'm reading now. But they both definitely handle it very differently. And it's both in different settings. So, they've definitely both gripped my interest. But NPCs, so good. And I at least have significantly more to read. So, I'm sure there will be more twists and turns and character growth.
Who's your favorite boss that he's ran into so far?
That's so hard because they're all different.
I love them.
I kind of love Raffaele, mostly because he's toxic and mysterious, and that's apparently just my thing. But also because, like, there is an air of mystery around it. Like, he's had a few encounters with him, but, like, immediately upon meeting Vigil, they got along, and then Vigil just kind of has, like, followed him around ever since. And same with Ixia, and I feel like Raffaele is still, like, keeping a distance. So maybe it's just because their relationship is, like, a little coy and, like, I don't know. It feels like there's a little bit more, like, distant seduction happening slowly. So it's gripped my interest. But just based on, like, the main cover, I know we're going to meet more bosses, so I doubt he'll be, like, my end favorite. Maybe. But I'm sure that it's just going to keep getting even better. So, it's great. I love it.
I love it. I'm so glad you're reading this one.
Do you have a favorite boss out of the three I know of, or do you have to keep it under wraps?
My favorite boss is one that you haven't met yet.
Okay.
But if I had to choose out of the three, I think I would also choose Raffaele. I just, the more that you get to interact with him too, I think you'll love him even more.
The glowing, like, pink magenta eyes, though.
Yeah.
So gripping. I do love it. And I do love that they, like, paid attention to the fact that Lucian's eyes are, like, bright yellow. Because part of me was like, is that just normal in this world? And apparently it's not.
No.
So I do love that. I think it's fun that they're paying attention to the little details. I love that he's basically, like, this god's pawn in a game. It almost just feels like he's being, like, toyed with. They're like, oh, okay, you passed away. And so now you're just fucking up this world for my entertainment.
You're my main character.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of do what I want.
With you, yeah. I'm giving you your quests. I get to decide. I just think it's so funny. Like, he has some direction in this world that he's in. Poor Lucia from I'm the Villain. She's, like, completely thrown to the wolves.
Yeah.
Has nothing. She can barely even remember people's names. But, like, at least he has the quest pop-ups and is, like, making friends with the right people along the way. So, I love it. I think it's great.
So good.
Changing the fate of the game. So fun. So, in that vein, as I continue to read NPCs, as you continue to read Dark Knight Journal, I want you to give me a recommendation for what my up next should be.
So I have 2 recommendations for you.
Okay.
One is from Webtoon and one is from Manta.
Okay.
So the first one from Webtoon is not going to be a surprise to you. It's Nove.
Yes, I've heard the title once or twice.
I'm not even going to go into detail. I just went into detail about this story during a previous episode. But I know that you'll like it because of the beautiful art, the beautiful romance between the characters, And it's a very, very gripping story. You will want to keep reading it. And there are moments that are scary. There are moments that are sweet. There are moments of like fighting. And so there's just so much in it. And it's a good story. So that's my first one.
Okay.
My second one is from Manta, and this one I've read a while ago, so I had to go and refresh my memory just a little bit. But this one's called Spring, the Color of Love. It is so good. It's a completed series.
I do love that. It's just some closure right away.
So you don't have to wait week to week. I mean, we love to read week to week.
Yes.
But it is nice to have a completed series every once in a while. So this will be a good one to read when you want to read something start to finish.
Yeah, change of pace.
And so this is a drama romance, but it's not too dramatic.
Okay.
And it resolves well.
Okay.
So I think that you'll like it because it's not too crazy either way. It's not depressing. It's not a depressing depressing drama.
As long as there's a good resolve. The resolve is like very cathartic. I don't mind drama as long as like everything ends up okay.
Yeah.
Or as okay as it can, essentially.
Yeah. So the story is the two main characters, Cheong-sun and Gong-hyun, were they met in college. They're basically different worlds. One is really wealthy and set up for success. The other one is but loves playing the piano but is kind of being forced into the business world. The other one is making his own way through life, has to come up with his own money, has to have the job to get through school and like working crazy hours just to be able to afford to have the same opportunities. And so they meet, they connect in college, and then I can't remember which one is which, but one goes away, and so they separate for 10 years. And then they come back, and so they end up both working at the same hotel.
Oh, fun.
And so that's where they meet again. And then basically the whole story is just their reconnection and trying to figure out what happened in the past, why did they go their separate ways, and what brought them back together. And it's so good. You'll love it.
That sounds really sweet. I love a good romance drama. So, yeah, I'll have to read it. You've mentioned it to me before.
I have.
And usually I'm like, do you know how much I anticipate those weekly releases? But there is something so nice about just being able to start something that already has a happy ending planned out. Instead of having the anxiety build up all the time. You know, you're like, there's another chapter I can read if something's really stressful. So I'll have to read it. I will definitely put those on my up next. And then I'll have to give you an update on what I think.
Yeah.
So fun.
So what do you have that you think I should read?
So I have one from Webtoon and one from Manta.
Okay.
But so starting out from Webtoon, I think you need to read Only Hope. I've mentioned it to you a couple times, I think. But just as like a quick overview, this woman, Yoonhee, is married to her husband, Dojin. They have an amazing relationship. They love each other so much. She's like, what more could I possibly want? And then as they're at basically this like vacation home, she ends up stumbling across like her husband's secret office that has like a camera on like some guy that's being held hostage, and like a bunch of like missing posters of people where it like essentially insinuates that he's murdered these people that have like gone missing. And she's like completely thrown aback. And she ends up getting attacked and, like, thrown back in time. She doesn't know, like, who it was who attacked her. She's assuming her husband because she found his secret hideout, whatever. And she's so confused. She's like, I mean, I'm back in time to, like, right before I met my husband. I need to understand. And so she just gets thrown into, like, she essentially, like, meets her husband in a different way with different circumstances, etc. And it's trying to see, like, will their romance still be the same? What is actually going on? Like, she's like, I thought I knew my husband. He's not a murderer. what is this?
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, like, it is just crazy twists and turns all of the time. I was gonna say something different. I was gonna give you a different recommendation, but after you mentioned that you were reading something that was a mystery, and after seeing your reaction to things like Winter Wolf with, like, the huge twists, I was like, this is what you need. You don't read many thrillers, like thriller, mystery, etc. And so I think it'll be a good change of pace for you.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I think thriller and mystery is a genre that I need to expand into more. Mm-hmm. So that will definitely be one of my first next reads.
Yeah, it's not even necessarily scary. I read, like, all of my webcomics at night. Mm-hmm. So the last thing I want is to, like, do something where I can't sleep afterwards. But it is, like, so much suspense where you're just like, oh my gosh.
Which is really my favorite. I love the suspense of what's going to happen next.
I know. It's so crazy. So many twists and turns. Like, you can see how all these different characters get looped in. Highly recommend. That is definitely my rec for the next Webtoons read for you. When it comes to the next Manta read, especially knowing that you still have some of this webcomic left, I'm definitely recommending that you get caught up to the Dilettante. I know I mentioned it in another episode, but it's coming back on August 21st. And one, so close to your birthday. So happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
But two, the characters are so good and it's left on such an incredible cliffhanger. And I just feel like you'll want to be ahead of the game before it releases so that you can have as much anticipation as I do. Selfishly, I want you to read it so you have as much anticipation as I do.
So which should I read first?
Well, considering how quickly you read, you could probably read the Dilettante and, like, be caught up with it in, like, 2 days.
Okay.
There's only, like, 30-something episodes.
Oh, I could definitely do that in 2 days.
Yeah, you could maybe do it in one, but that's a little,
If I'm making it a
ambitious.
laundry day, where I'm just going to do laundry and read, I could do it in one day.
Yeah, it's a little ambitious, but for laundry day, I think it's possible. Anything's possible on laundry day. But so because you can catch up on it so fast, I almost feel like you should maybe the Dilettante would be a good palate cleanser, actually, between the Dark Knight Journal. If there are a bunch of twists going on, maybe you can get caught up on Dark Knight Journal, read the Dilettante, and then you can go into Only Hope.
Okay.
Kind of get back into that swing of all the twists and turns. There are some twists and turns in the Dilettante too, though. It is technically categorized as a thriller as well.
I did see that it was a recommended to read if you like Winter Wolf, and I like Winter Wolf.
We all like Winter Wolf. It's a good story. I'm so curious to see where it goes.
Me too.
But same with all of these. They're so phenomenal. I think that those should be your next two. I know that I constantly give recommendations like you should read this, but genuinely you should pick them up. It's really great.
All right. We'll mark them on our Google spreadsheet.
Yes. Our continuously growing Google spreadsheet.
And then it will be written in stone and we'll have to do it.
So true. We've definitely never strayed away from that before.
No, never.
Well, I am so glad that we got to chat through it today. Thank you all for joining us while we talk about what we're currently reading and what we're reading up next. If you're reading something amazing and you think that we should add it to the list, go ahead and let us know. We'd love to
let us know what you're currently reading and what you're going to read next.
Yes, super curious. We want all of the recommendations, and we hope that you join us on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.